Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing of the newest experience, I guess you could say, coming from Kingdom Death Monster. We have the Frogdog expansion. I pledged for that 3D board, so I'm excited to dig into what that is and get this onto the table. We also have the Roll Survivors as well from the Lion Knight expansion. For those of you that don't know the Lion Knight, when you fight him, he kind of gives each character a role, kind of like in a play, and so these are like the miniatures are supposed to you can build up to make look like that. It's kind of cool. And of course we also got the new shirt coming from Kingdom Death as well. So we're going to unbox all of this and dig into it, and if you're excited to see what's in all of this stuff, then I need you to meet me at the table. We'll first take a look at the shirt. This is, of course, the gambler holding up one of the 10-sided dice. Super cool. I'm excited for the shirt. Now, if anybody's wondering, the pledge level that you're seeing in front of you is the Black Friday's Gambler's Lanterns pledge that came out for the 1.5 Kickstarter. So this is the stuff that's included in it. The only thing that's not is the board that I'm about to show at the end. That last part, the board was an add-on that you had to add on. But everything else that you're seeing from my channel when it comes to the Kingdom Death unboxings are from that particular pledge level. The next thing to look at is the Roll Survivor pack. This is a pack of survivors that have the different rolls. I'm just going to quickly show you the sprues for them. This is the Lucy roll right here. It shows the character with a couple of the feet and things like that you can put together. Then we have the roll for, let's see which one's this. This is the Zachary roll character. Interestingly enough, so holding a shoe, that's kind of interesting. He's got a shoe right there. Then we've got the, which one's this? This is the roll Ezra. This is the Ezra roll. This is, of course, the different mold that you put together. For those of you who've never seen Kingdom Death before, you do assemble the miniatures, but the miniatures are probably some of the greatest miniatures when it comes to assembling them and putting them together. The design on these miniatures are out of control. They do their very best, hold mold line, or not mold lines, but where pieces connect and things like that. So there's really not very much gap and things like that. They're an absolutely fantastic, fun to put together. We have a Lister here. This is the last one. This is the one that looks like the Jester. So they're eventually all going to look like this, and you can paint them up however you want to. If you are into painting, that's something you can do. It also comes with the bases that you're going to put on those for those miniatures. The next thing we're going to look at is the actual Frogdog expansion. In the true Kingdom Death style, they have that inlay thing that looks really awesome. The back of it does show the Frogdog in its lair. The lair is more of I believe this fight's going to take place kind of in a boggy type atmosphere and things like that. And there's probably cards and things that are going to make it feel like that. I do like the new direction they're going with the way that they're packaging their expansions. It sure is a long it is a long way from the old the flimsy cardboard packaging that we used to get a long time ago. So this is really interesting that they've added these new boxes, just like the original Kingdom Death box and the expansion box. It has that thick cardboard that you can really protect your investment here. We have the entire sprues. We'll look through all of those. We then have all of the this protects everything underneath here, which is going to be the book for it, and of course these cardboard punch outs and all the different things that have to do with the cards and the settlement locations and things of that nature. We're going to dig through all of this. Before we dig too much farther into this, I do want to mention that, of course, if you haven't seen anything about Kingdom Death is technically a mature rated game, so there may be scenes that are a little more mature that if you're not interested in seeing those, please, of course, make sure you click off the video and go to something else. Though, if you're interested in seeing, of course, all this fun stuff, that's super, super cool. The first thing I need to talk to you about is the Frogdog is considered a Node 1 monster. Now, what does that mean? The Node 1 monsters are monsters that you can start with at the beginning of your campaign. For the original core game, the White Lion is also considered a Node 1 monster. I believe the Crimson Crocodile is also a Node 1 monster. And so if you're interested in starting a new campaign and want to play without the White Lion, you could either do the Frogdog, or you could also do, I believe it's the Crimson Crocodile from the 1.5 expansion, that the Gambler's Chest that just came out. This monster is going to kind of represent like a keystone species that surrounds the settlement, which is why you're going to see a lot of the new settlement locations. You're going to find a lot of the gear cards in here and stuff, because it's going to be something you're originally going to start trying to strive for when it comes to a type of gear that you're using from a monster. It's going to be the Node 1 monster, which is pretty awesome. And to do that, you're going to add in this particular story event. This is going to be like the very first story event you would do if you're going to use the Frogdog in a new campaign. It's called Devour the White Lion. And so it says the monster appears from the darkness and devours the white lion. As you can see, roar, it eats the white lion. Oh my gosh. Super creepy, poor guy. And then you're going to fight this particular Frogdog. Then just like the white lion, I think it's kind of a smaller version of that lion. And then from then on, the Node 1 monster would be a normal Frogdog that you would attempt to fight. It has its own custom deck that you're going to set up just like you would when you're fighting the white lion for the first time. It also is going to have all the different normal terrain pieces that you'd use for the Frogdog, for the Devour the White Lion, but I bet they're very similar when you're fighting the Frogdog. And like I said, it sets everything up exactly how you'd need to fight it for the first time. Here are the cardboard that comes with it. The first three are going to be different terrain pieces. I believe they're like supposed to be kind of like lily pad type concepts, and we'll see how that works when I look at the terrain card for these. These are the stinky tokens. So as this character attacks and does things, it's going to cause your characters to be more stinky. Of course, the one that has the most is the most stinkiest. One of the interesting, unique things that this particular monster does, it has this what's called fart deck, and so it's going to be causing all these things from the back of the monster that are going to cause your character to be stinky. And who knows, cause insanity, things of that nature. We'll have to look at some of the cards to figure that out. These over here are what are called omen card tokens. When you have enough of these, you can do story moments having to do with this called the Metamorphosis Festival. So we'll have to dig into that and see what that has to do as you play through this particular monster. There's a couple other tokens here that are going to be probably referenced in some of the cards coming up here pretty soon. With the cardboard taken care of, let's take a look at all of the different cards that come with this particular expansion. We're going to dig through most of these now. I'm not going to try to spoil. I'm not going to spoil everything. I may show a couple cards that have to do with different things. For example, the train cards I'll show because that's going to be part of the original time you fight this guy. But some of the hit locations, I'm going to show only like maybe basic ones. Some of the in the hunt, I might show one hunt card and things of that nature because I don't want to spoil too much of this. But I still want you to get an idea of what exactly this monster is. And this particular expansion can be used in any of the different ways you're going to be able to play Kingdom Death. For example, if you're using Arc Survivors, it does have cognitive cognition and a few knowledge cards that go with this monster. There's a couple of these, what do you call them, the dividers. There's ones for the particular Frogdog and, of course, the resources and different places you can build some of your things. Speaking of building things, it does come with 2 settlement events that you're probably going to gain right off the bat after you defeat a Frogdog that you can use. I love some of the art up here. Look, it's got the Frogdog up there. It's kind of seeping through and creating things for this settlement. It looks like it has a whole set of armor and then weapons that go along with it. This one again has, this is the Bullfrog. This is the one if you're able to fight the legendary version of it. So I don't want to really show too much of that. But this is the original one. So if you're fighting the Frogdog, you might be able to get some of these. Notice there are a lot of green affinities here, which is kind of neat, which will be pretty cool. Because if I remember right, the Monster Grease is also a green affinity piece, which I could be wrong about that. But I think that'd be kind of neat how it all goes together. There is some that you're going to need some of the innovations like heat in order to make this particular one. But that is the settlement event goes with it. Since this is a Node 1 monster, I believe you're going to start with a one that gives you the way you're going to start your characters, I think. Settlement event. An abrupt croak starts survivors mercilessly. Feel jumpy. Nope, I guess not. These are just settlement events. Okay. Sometimes they come with a starting settlement event. This one might not. It also comes with a scout discovery as well. Of course, there are going to be your armor cards, so if you do get all of them, this one add +1 to all hit locations and then some other stuff. Again, trying not to spoil too much. We do get a couple fighting arts, so if you're using... fighting arts are not usually seen in the Arc Survivors, I've noticed, but the other, if you're doing just the basic way of playing the game, you're going to be seeing some of these fighting arts. We do have some disorders, and if you do start the game with this particular monster as your Node 1, you're going to add these right to the game, so it's right off the bat. There are a few things, I believe, these are for the legendary monster, so I'm not going to show any of these. They're actually were separated from the rest of the decks that were given. It does have a basic action card, so it's going to have a random stinky survivor in range as its target. Then it's going to go towards the stinkiest survivor, and if there's nothing, then it's going to do KG. We'll have to figure out what that is, but it has a 3-speed, 5+ accuracy, and does 1 damage. Then it's going to perform this gaseous bloat, which is an AI card that we'll probably see shortly. This is, of course, the one for the Bullfrog. Whoops, the Bullfrog. This is the legendary monster that you're going to be fighting. So So that's its basic action. Moving into more of what the Frogdog does, here are some of the AI cards. We have a whole deck of them, and like I said, I'm not going to spoil too much. There, of course, are basic, advanced, and legendary cards in this, but the ones that you're seeing here are the ones you would start with when you fight this person for the first time. For example, this is the one it tells you to put on top, so I just want to give you an idea of kind of what this guy is going to do. Again, stinkiest threat in range, closest threat in range, and then it's going to not, if anything, it's going to be cagey. It has a 3 speed, 5 accuracy, 1 damage, and then perform gaseous bloat, which of course is going to be in here somewhere. It does have what's called the double sphincter. Pickard complex musculates emits heinous gas wrapped in a crackling mucosa bubble, which wobbles through the air, drawn to the biseptic pulse. Wow, lots of big long words I can't say. At the start of the monster's turn, before drawing a AI card, play all farts on this card one at a time. Okay, so they'll be piling up. That's even better. All right. Foul stench. The Frogdog's presence elevates the riot of smells in the air to a feverish pitch. On arrival, all survivors gain 1 stinky token for each stinky gear in their gear grid. Okay, and if a survivor has any stinky tokens, they are stinky. The stinkiest survivor is the one with the most stinky. Okay, that's fantastic. All right, let's go on to the next one. Now, this is all stuff that you would start with and play when you fight this guy for the very first time. So gaseous bloat, large churning bulbous organ, inflates the monster's guts with putrid gas. And then it has gaseous bloat. Place the top card of the fart deck face down on that double sphincter card we saw. If there are no farts left in the deck, the bearable air becomes too thin. All survivors suffer a random brain trauma with -1 to the result. This then reshuffle the fart discard pile and create a new fart deck. Interesting. And when the monster suffers a wound from a survivor in the heinous origin, which is I believe the very last or very back part of the monster, it says a squealing emission dissipates harmlessly. Discard the top card of the fart deck on the double sphincter, so you can kind of get rid of those as you fight it. It does have a thing called leap. Place the Frogdog in the center of a random mammoth leaf, though that's what those are. Those tokens or those cardboard things you saw are mammoth leaves. It currently does not occupy its turn and turn its blind spot to face the center of the board. All right, the monster crashes down with malice heft. All adjacent survivors and survivors. The most lands on suffers damage equal to the monster level to a random hit location. So these are some of the things that it's all going to start with in play. That's pretty awesome. And here's that fart deck that they're talking about. It's a giant deck of cards. I'm just going to show one of these. I don't know what any of these are. Here is one. It says sour emission. For this one is going to be something that's going to happen. There's the tokens we have seen. The Yorma causes a sudden weakness in the knees. You collapse technically in the craggy murk underfoot. Target a survivor at the fewest spaces from the heinous origin. They suffer damage equal to the monster level to the legs hit location and gain a stinky token. So these fart cards are going to damage you, it looks like, and probably a lot of other things as well. So those are some of the AI cards for this monster. I'm going to quickly move through a few of the cards that we have here. For example, there are some new vermin and seed patterns that are part of this. We also have just straight up pattern cards and, of course, some secret fighting arts that go along with this monster. I'm guessing as the monster gets more powerful, they're going to have some of these more powerful cards introduced to them. We have the hunt locations. I'm going to show one of them, not the special hunt, but I'll show you one of these. Here's one of the hunt events. It says interloper. A small creature loops out of the darkness. If this is the first time hunting the Frogdogs, the event revealer gets friendly. Otherwise, the creature's origin cannot be unseen. So I'm not going to show you the rest of the card. You'll have to see how that works, but they do have some fresh hunt events for us. There are some strange resources. Again, not going to show those. I don't want to give up all of those. We do have, of course, a resource deck. Every monster that you fight that can build things for you does have a resource deck. Here's, for example, one of the things. We can get a mammary gland, leaky formally. All right, that's fantastic. We also get stuff like, here's another one. We can get the supple nose. That's fantastic. And then like a tatty hide. So there are going to be, of course, all the different things that you'd use to craft all those cool items that we're going to look at shortly. We do have hit location cards as well. If you use this to devour the white lion, this is the first hit location card you see. Again, trying not to spoil as much as I can, but of course I'm going to show you a few things just so you can see some of the stuff. Twitching digit flexor. It says if you wound, the frog dog's wide set eyes greedily scan for a chance to retaliate. If the attacker is not in the monster's blind spot, perform leap. Then the attacker suffers grab. Oh boy, so it's going to take you, and there you go. And of course they do have some criticals as well that we can do. So that's just one of the many hit location cards in here, and of course there is probably a trap in here as well. I would hate to see what that does. We do have our terrain cards. These are all presumably going to be used at the beginning of the game. So these are the ones we're going to use those 2 extra cardboard tokens. We're going to be for some of the terrain pieces. Here is the mammoth leaf. When fighting the frog dog, set up 3 mammoth leaves, otherwise set up 1 mammoth leaf. It's indestructible. I can use a movement action and an action to bounce on the surface of this leaf. You spring into action. If you are on a mammoth leaf, place your survivor in an unoccupied space up to 7 away, then activate a weapon with an attack with +3 strength. Oh my gosh, that's really good. All right, so that's the terrain. That's pretty good. Having looked at all the cards and everything, we'll take a look at some of the sprues here. This is one of the sprues for the frog dog itself. When talking, it's a 3x3 grid here, and it did mention something about being in the back side of the monster. It is going to be just this one square that would be right behind the monster if you're going to be attacking to try to get rid of some of those fart cards. This is one of the sprues that it has here. Looks like it has a bunch of its little dogs in here, frog dogs. I bet these are its young. It's frog dog young. So that's one of the sprues. Let's continue on. Here's the other one. Look at the detail on this thing. Here it is. Here is the frog dog in all its glory. It even has some of the people looking out of it. That's amazing. This stuff is always so cool. Here's more of its lair that's going to be staying on top. Some of the hands. Here's its mouth that I'm sure we're going to be able to hit and want to destroy. It has some of its legs and things of that nature. Now that's the frog dog. It is only 2 sprues. Here are the ones for the survivors, and of course it does come with 2 huge sprues full of things that we can use to create our survivors. I'm going to take this one out from behind because it probably is a little confusing there to see them both. But here is one of the sprues that shows you everything. Look at this weapon right here. This thing looks awesome. Oh my gosh, I want that one. That looks so good. I have no idea what it does, but it looks pretty awesome. The axe even looks amazing. Look at this axe right here with all this stuff on it. That looks super cool. So here's one of the sets of survivor sprues, and here's the other one. It's got the, oh look at this, it's got a big giant glaive or spear on it or something. That's pretty awesome. And then of course it has these like cool looking like cape drape type things that it uses for armor. That looks pretty awesome. All right, so I'm just going to hold a little bit. You can take a look and see what you see here. It's kind of cool. It has some neat things, a lot of cool things here. So that is the Frog Dog expansion, it's the end of the unboxing of that. I do want to take a look at that board. But before we do, I forgot about these small cards. There are some small cards. There's some seed pattern cards. There's also some rare gear cards as well. Again, not going to look at some of these. We have one for the outskirts. This is one that you can build for your scout, I believe, is going to be part of that. We have some patterns that we can get. We also have a meal that we can make as we go through it. I believe that's one of the cognitive cognition cards. Here's all the stuff from the Tusk Works. There's a whole stack of them. Now this is, I believe, when you're fighting one of these stronger frog dogs, so I'm not going to go through any of that. But here's the stuff that you can get from the Frog's Craster. I can't even pronounce that. Frog's Scadrafter. All right. Anyway, let's kind of look at a few of these things. We can make acid bombs. It's a throw-in ranged weapon. Range 1 attack, 6+, and does 4 extra 4 strength. That's amazing. Activation limit 7 range 4, and it's slow on a perfect hit. I can discard a mood in play. That's pretty awesome. Here's the Frog Dog mask. When you suffer the effects of gas, roll a d10 on a 6+. You ignore it if you have multiple greens. Now remember, this means that they just have to be on the gear grid. It's the ones that have the actual, there's ones that are going to be ones where you have to link. This is Frog Goggles, Frog Dog Goggles. That's pretty, Frog Doggles. That's pretty awesome. The insane, while insane, at the start of your activation, reveal the top card of your AI and hit location deck. While stinky, gain +1 accuracy. So if we can get these 2 blue ones connected, we can, but it could be any blue on the gear grid that you could do. Then we have some of the weapons here coming through here. We have the long club. Reach 2, may attack from 2 spaces faces away. It's a melee weapon with 253. That looks pretty good. We have the lure lantern. I have no idea what that thing is. We have a spiked buckler, so we do have like a shield. We have the Vibro Vertebraeonet. That's a pretty awesome name. I really enjoy the names that they do for these. They really do a good job. This gains +2 luck when attempting to wound a hit location with a persistent injury. Well, that's pretty good. There's some more of those. Vigor capsules. Let's see if we can find some other neat weapons in here. We already saw the long club. There's got to be some other ones in here. Lure lantern. That might be about it. We have frog whistle. We can get a frog whistle. That's pretty awesome. I do notice that a lot of these don't have any of the ones that need to have that particular gear linked. But here's the Frogdog armor vest. Inflate, add +1 to all hit locations in this in the hit location that is wearing armor. That is going to be an action. So if you're right up next to it and you know it's going to attack you, you can instantly inflate all your armor. That's pretty cool. I like that. And I think that's about it. Frogdog boots. Burst during the survival opportunity. Spend all leg armor points, minimum 1, to suffer knockback 5 in any direction. Cool. All right, so that's just some of the gear. It's pretty much a lot of the gear from the Frogdog expansion. Now let's take a look at that board. Here we have the 2 foot by 3 foot game board. Like I said, this was a particular add-on I added on to my pledge. Everything else you've seen as I've unboxed from the 1.5 Kickstarter was stuff that was part of the original pledge that I pledged for. But this was an add-on that I actually added on because I was super excited to get a board. Oh my gosh, look at all these tiles. There's so many. Oh my, whoa, this is out of control. Okay. Look at all these tiles. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes, I can count. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 8. That's a lot. Super math. There are so many here. This is ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to pull all these things out. And here's how the board is going to work. Okay, so this is cool. Okay, I got to get this all out of here. Look at this. This is something I have been waiting for. Super excited for this. We're going to get rid of this box out of here. So you're going to have this is really strong and sturdy stuff here for the board itself. That's pretty awesome. All right, so let's dig into some of these and take a look. Now, each one of these looks like it's going to be handcrafted. I'm sure they were. The way Kingdom Death does their stuff is just amazing. A lot of the stuff is pretty handcrafted on its own. So here we go. So on the back, it looks like it's going to have where these would go, and they just fit right into this thing like pretty easily. I mean, this isn't coming out. It fits in there nicely. I mean, I'm sure if I really jostled it around, these things would go flying all over the place. But they do fit in there just like this. Now, of course, I'm not putting them in the right order at all. I'm just putting them in so that you can take a look and see how this all fits in here. And then the miniatures will, of course, just stay on top of these. This is going to be pretty neat. Now, of course, if I do tip it upside down, some of them might fall out. They are in there, but they're not like fully able to, like, it's not going to, they're not, you have to push them in real hard to get them in there, but they do stay in at least somewhat snugly. And we have ones that have faces on them. We have some that are going to be part of just, I think, some of those bigger faces in the middle of the board. And on top of that, the cool thing is it tells you what letters you have in your bag. So if you're just going to want to just start setting this up so you're ready to go, you can just you can start putting these into wherever they're supposed to go in on the board here. Here's some other cool designs on here. So these have like the leaves that are on this. This is gonna be so neat. So let's see if I can get these all lined up the right way. I think it's gonna go like that, like this. There we go. And then they would be placed in here. Now, of course, like I said, these are not supposed in the line they're supposed to be. They're just kind of set in there. This one, actually, I believe this one goes over here. But that's okay. Just super cool. Let's get a whole bunch of these in here and just kind of see how this all looks when it's all done. Now, when it comes to how this is going to work, most likely I'm going to have to go through, prime all of these, probably do a black wash on them and then a white dry brush. But then on some of these, I'm going to have to come back and I'm going to paint these with some cool greens. It looks like there's a skull here, so I'll paint that with a skull color. So I really want this board to pop. I think it'd be really neat to see this board in full action. Let's take a look at a few more. Just looking at the detail they've put into some of these, look, there's like some lanterns kind of in the cracks of this, the board here. This one right here, I mean, look at this. It's just got these cool looking, the lanterns themselves are kind of in there. Look at this whole pile of lanterns that somebody has left behind, probably from death. Oh, here's another one. There's just got a whole bunch of lanterns just from when somebody has died. Again, not putting them in the right order. I wish if I took the time to do that, it'd take a while. So I don't want to waste the time, everybody here, putting them, trying to figure out where these all go. So just placing it in, but they, as you can see, they are teeth. So like some of these are going to be those cool looking big faces in the middle of the board that you're going to be able to see. And that, who knows, that might be exactly how it goes. I'm not exactly sure. But as you can see, as the board is built out, there are, I believe these two are probably going to go like this, and then the other ones are going to be on the side, and it is going to turn into the exact same size as the original Kingdom Death board. I could be wrong about that, but this is super cool. Now, of course, after I get this built, I'm going to have to keep them all together. I don't think I'm going to want to take this all apart. It's going to take forever to put it together. So this is going to be a monumental task. I'm going to have to prime all these. Like I said, we'll do some, we'll maybe put some blue, or not blue, a black wash all over these, and then we'll try to dry brush this, and then paint up all some of the extra little details that they have. Like, for example, I don't know if you can see this through here, but look, there's just a sword just laying on the ground here. Super neat how they have these all like this. Now, this is all built from, I believe, the same kind of plastic they have used for the miniatures themselves. I apologize for the glare. I should be taking these out to show you, but there are just so many. Look at, there's just so many of these things. So that is the board, and I don't think there's much more I'm going to be able to dig into this to show. If you have any questions or anything about the board or the Frogdog expansion or anything, please leave those in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you know when more content comes out. I will be coming back to Kingdom Death Monster. I know I've been away for a while. One of the reasons is I was waiting for this. As soon as I found out this was going to be something that was going to be shipping, I was super excited for that and kind of put the game on pause so I can get this thing painted up and out on the board, because I think this is really going to make a difference when it comes to what's out there. On top of that, I'm going to have to dig into trying to find some 3D terrain. I think that'll make the game really look awesome on the table. Now, feel free to leave anything in the comments section below. I would love to hear from everyone. Did you get a chance to get a hold of this board? Was this something that just didn't excite you? Are you excited for the Frogdog expansion? Was that one of the cool ones that you're waiting for? Please let me know in the comments section below. I would love to hear from everyone. Also, if you're interested in supporting the channel, please feel free to check out the link to my Patreon. It's located in the description of this video. Those that have joined the Patreon are located here on the screen. Thank you so much for your patronage. It does mean the world to me. Those that join the Patreon do get a few perks. One of them is all the playthroughs that Colin and I do. We let the Patreon see it usually about a day or two ahead of time without commercial interruptions. On top of that, we give them the ability to affect the game going forward. So, for example, in Kingdom Death, I would ask, like, what do you think I should use the resources for? I'll ask that at my Patreon and get some ideas going forward into how we're supposed to make items and weapons for our characters, and what kind of innovations would be good for our characters, things of that nature. And also, I do let them decide kind of who we should fight going forward, if we even have that option. So there you have it. This is the latest shipment from Kingdom Death Monster when it comes to the game itself. So we have the Frogdog expansion, the shirt, the survivors, and we also have our new game board. This is going to be super awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this game board. So thank you so much for watching. And if you're excited to see more Kingdom Death or anything else that Colin and I have coming up next, then I need you to meet me at the table.